truth is, they see me in their asket. How you from the Ville, niggas know you in the basket.
What's good, everybody? What's good? It's your boy Cardinal Bud Crawford, or E.S. Red, if that's what you want to call me. And we are back for another one. Alright, y'all. We got the new topics. Manny Pacquiao, latest to box in Saudi Arabia. Should Terence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. follow suit? Alright, y'all. So it's been reported for a while now that Manny Pacquiao was going to be making small comeback, and that comeback is going to be an exhibition fight. I think he had been planning to do this for a while, but he wanted to wait and see if he was going to actually win the presidency before he made it official. A couple months ago, he actually made it official, did a press conference on it, and all that good stuff. But they're reporting that the fight is going to, the exhibition, is going to take place in Saudi Arabia. There are princes and oil tycoons over there with huge piles of money they have nothing to do with except for build hotels in the middle of the desert. So they're trying to attract new things to entertain people over on that side of the world. Now, I know there's a lot of hate that gets tossed at that side of the world. There's a lot of misunderstandings and controversial things that go on over there. We're not going to get all the way into that, but what people have to understand is that no matter where you're at, no matter what's going on in a specific country, there are people that want to be entertained. There are people with money. There are people that want to experience something new, maybe something they've never experienced before in their life. So you have investors over on that side of the world that are willing to throw big money at people willing to come over and entertain their citizens. Now, we've had basketball players, all type of stuff go over there and do big things for, the Middle East, trying to give those people a sense of pride and entertainment. Once again, there's stuff that goes on over on that side of the world that I know Western countries and just different countries from those type of countries don't agree with. But I'm not here to argue that. I'm here to say, are these good places to put on fights? Are the dollars that they're throwing at these fights worth it to have those fights put on? If we can't make them over here, why not make them over there? Now, I know there are going to be people that say, well, a fight like Terence Crawford, Errol Spence doesn't belong over there because it's an American fight. It's two black fighters, two American black fighters at that, and how would their fan bases be able to travel that far? And I totally agree with that it would take the casual fan out of the picture. The casual fan is not going to be able to travel to the Middle East. Costs a lot of money. You got to go through a lot of things, a lot of restrictions over there, and a lot of different rules that you got to abide by, because you can get in a lot of trouble over there. So it would take the casual fan off the table as far as viewing the fight in person. But what it does do for that fight is you will have nothing but billionaires, millionaires, more than likely. I take the billion off of it. It's going to be a lot of billionaires at that fight, but you will more than likely have mostly billionaires at the event. Now, they want this event to make a lot of money. What's better than having a bunch of oil tycoons and billionaire hotel owners and managers and resort owners and things of that nature, and company owners? Because those are the only type of people who would be able to afford to go watch this fight. So you wouldn't have too many just average boxing fans inside the stadium, purchasing tickets and watching the fight live. It would be more of like the upper echelon of people actually filling up whatever stadium or multiplex or whatever they decide to do it in. Now, what that would do for the casual fan is it would force them to buy the pay-per-view. Once again, it would force them to buy the pay-per-view. So if you want high pay-per-view numbers, and this might be a reason why some of these foreign fighters get such high pay-per-view numbers, it's the fact that they have two different markets purchasing the fight. They have whatever country they're from, plus the American market if they have a fan base there, which they really don't need. But if they have a fan base there, so now you have two different markets purchasing the fight. Plus, if you have it in a country that's not of the origin of the fighter, you have actually three different, you know, kind of crowds purchasing the fight. You have the country that the fighter's from, you have the American audience, then you have where they're putting the fight on at purchasing the fight as well. So you would get three different types of audiences purchasing this fight. That's a good thing. Now, once again, it's not good for the casual fan who wants to watch the fight live. You know, it pretty much deads that for all the casual fans wanting to see it live. But you actually get the fight, you get the numbers everybody wants, you get the money everybody wants. You know, I think it helps the pay-per-view numbers. I don't think the pay-per-view numbers would do very well if you put it in Vegas, if you put it in Texas, if you put it here, there, or anywhere else in America. It's only going to do a certain amount of buys, and that's around that 500,000 to 600,000. If you stick it in a foreign country and force all those people who would have came to the fight, so if you're talking about putting it in the stadium and putting 100,000 people in a stadium, now that 100,000 people are forced to buy the fight. So you go from 500,000 or 600,000 buys to closer to 1 million buys, like 700,000-800,000 buys. Hey, once again, if they want to push the pay-per-view numbers up and make more money off of that, it's going to benefit it to do it in a foreign country. Saudi Arabia to be exact, or Riyadh, you know, that's where Manny Pacquiao is supposed to be having one of or two of his exhibition fights, because he's supposed to be fighting a YouTuber from Tokyo or somewhere like that, and he's supposed to be fighting another YouTuber who's an ex-MMA fighter or something that he's supposed to have an exhibition with over there as well. And he's going to get a pile of money for that. Now, I've been saying that Pacquiao is going to need money for his next campaign run, which isn't going to happen for at least 5 or 6 years, but he's going to be stacking up that money in the meantime. Now, I was hoping that he would make a comeback to real fighting, but, you know, there's a long shot of that. There's still a shot, but I think the names you would have to be looking for Manny Pacquiao to make an actual boxing return would be either a fight with Bud Crawford or Errol Spence, Floyd Mayweather, or Juan Manuel Marquez. Those are the names you would have to be trying to link Pacquiao to as far as making an actual professional boxing return. I think they would have to be paying him upwards of $20 million to do that, 15-20 million, because I don't think he's going to come back and risk all of this stuff for a $5 or $10 million payout. So if Manny Pacquiao is willing to go over there and his event does well and he gets paid all this money, wouldn't it behoove Terence Crawford and Errol Spence to just follow suit? Like, if you can't get the fight made in America, and I know there's a lot of people you got to convince to actually do that. You got all these investors over here trying to put up $40 or $50 million for that fight. So what happens to their money? You know, how do they feel if you sideline them and take it to Saudi Arabia or Riyadh or Dubai or one of these places? Would they still want to deal with PBC and Errol Spence after that? You know, so it's a sticky situation. On one hand, everybody wants this fight to happen, but on the other hand, the people who can actually pay for the fight don't want to put the money up to make the fight. So, or they don't want to put as much up as that's needed to make the fight. So why not take it somewhere where people are willing to give you the money for the fight? You still have to convince Errol Spence to want to do that. There are going to be different stipulations with the blood testing and everything involved. So it's tricky, but it could still happen. I mean, you've had Tyson Fury fights overseas. You've had Anthony Joshua, Ozeki overseas. You've had a lot of big fights overseas, and they did well. Everybody got paid. So why not this fight? You know, why not follow suit with what Manny Pacquiao's got going on? And he's already going to attract a crowd over there, so you might as well double back and benefit from what he's already built. Let me know what y'all think about that down in the comment section below. Hit that like button for me. Share. Subscribe. Tell a friend. Holler at me on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, but you're more than likely to get a response on the tube. So holler at me over there if you want a response. It's your boy Cardinal Bud Crawford, or E.S. Red, if that's what you want to call me. And we are
niggas ain't got a duck, but they better lean. Nowadays I'm the same, but it's better green. Wrong where I'm better mean. Keep a scam and a scheme.